are going to go into people's... Ooh, new offer. Sorry. No, don't, no.
Hello YouTube! Welcome back to the Every Closet. My name is Stephanie, and along with my partner Ethan, we are two full-time resellers of used clothing on Poshmark and eBay and other apps like that. We work from home for ourselves, and it is a fun and exciting journey, so hit subscribe down below and I'll be just thrilled for the whole rest of the week. Today's video is one that I hope a lot of people will find very useful in their own reselling businesses. It is how to cut off the thrift store at the source. This is a huge aspect of our business, and we do it in two ways, but I'll also be sharing a few hypothetical other ways that you can do it that we have not fully explored yet, but we might one day. So let's go over the reasoning behind cutting the thrift store off at the source. Number one would be that thrift store prices are rising, and you do not want to have to pay them in your reselling business to have the most profit per item. The second reason is that people are out there just giving away their used clothing for free. We know this because the thrift stores are full. So I don't know about you, but where I live, they literally line up like in cars, and the thrift stores turn donors away. They are so overrun. There's a ton of used clothing out there to get your hands on, and you just have to be willing to put yourself out there and to ask for things in order to get your hands on some of that. And another aspect is it is harder, it's more work when you have to sort through it yourself instead of the thrift store sorting through all of it for you. But it does make your cost of goods go from maybe $12 for one Free People shirt to $10 for a giant bag of clothing, or even to free. So that's absolutely worth it. So let's go over the two ways that we currently cut off the thrift stores at the source in our business. Number one is $10 bags. Now, we do have a video about this topic up on our channel, but it was filmed so long ago, one of the first videos we ever made. So I thought I would go over it again and a bit more of an updated version, because it is such a giant part of our business model and we use it almost every week. So I wanted to make sure you all know exactly what I'm talking about, especially in what's sold videos, when I say we got something from a $10 bag. So we have an ad on Facebook Marketplace, and if Ethan could please pop it up here, a screenshot. Essentially it says, if you're decluttering clothing, we will come pick it up from you in large garbage bags, picky about that, and pay you $10 for each bag. Every time we renew this post, it gets a ton of hits and responses from people. They love it. It's popular. You don't have to place this ad on Marketplace if you can't. It could be anywhere that you can place an advertisement for free. So if your building has a bulletin board, if the local library has a bulletin board, anywhere that has free bulletin boards, you could put up a sign. You could post on Craigslist, social media, anywhere that you can post something for free where the public can see it. You can also Google places online for where can I place free ads in your town, and just put your contact info on it, and people will respond if you're willing to come to them for the clothing. Now, you will get a lot of crap doing this, but you will also get a lot of gems. Our best advice for this method is to screen people and not buy bags from just anyone who has them. So anyone who wants to give you more than 5 to 7 bags at one time, they're probably not decluttering. They probably don't have a bunch of good new things. They're just trying to get the $10 per bag. So repeat customers I would only accept if they give you amazing bags the first time, and basically just only accept people who it seems like their main purpose is to get rid of the clothing that they were going to anyway, not to just get your $10 from you, or like they're trying to turn your business into a side hustle for themselves. That's not what we want. But we've been doing this for a while now, and the good things that you get from the bags will more than make up for all the bad stuff or unsellable things that you have to sort through, and then you can just donate it to, honestly, a better cause in the Value Village anyway. Note that we do always have this ad up. It's always up, but we also have an ad stating simply that we would accept donations of free clothing, and we'll pick them up from where you are as well. This ad also gets a lot of hits, not as many as the one where we pay people, especially if they see both. They'd rather get $10, right? But if they just see the one, I've had a lot of hits come from that, and I've had a lot of total strangers, like not even people we know, just give us free bags of clothing. And so the more ads you have out there, the better. The takeaway from this method is that people line up in droves to donate to Value Village, meaning that they are giving away their old stuff. And you've seen what Value Village has, right? Perfectly good stuff that hopefully they don't think is going to any sort of good cause. I don't think the Value Village is fooling a lot of people into thinking that they're a not-for-profit. I think a lot of people hold their nose and donate to Value Village. And so if they would do that, why wouldn't they give those clothes to you as well? So the second way we cut off the thrift store at the source is via consignment. I'm actually planning on making an entire video soon about this topic with our policies and everything like that. But I just want to say a bit here that we shop at consignment stores who give people less percentage than we do, and they sell the items for less than we sell them for, hence we can source there, right? So that is a huge perk of shopping or consigning with us. When we have an online store, we have more buyers that we have access to, so you can charge higher prices. Our Posh Closets and our eBay stores see maybe 100 times the daily traffic that most brick and mortar stores will see, just because it's a larger pool. And of course, there are different types of buyers. If you go into a store, maybe you're slightly more likely to buy, but you get my point. So a lot of people who are doing consignment of their luxury and designer goods would actually be better off consigning with you than with a consignment store. And then they're also supporting an even smaller business, which is important to a lot of people. And for two, this is your real selling point. You'll make them more money. That's the bottom line. You'll make them more money. We split consignment 50-50. I believe the consignment stores in our area do at most 40 or 30 for the consigner. They do, after all, have to pay rent in Vancouver and employees and all sorts of other like electricity and other costs that we don't have as an online store. And additionally, we really do price things higher than most consignment stores. Not everything, but most things we really do. So it equals a better deal for the people with luxury and designer goods to consign with you than it does for the consignment store. So that's your leg up on them. Another aspect of it is that people sometimes want convenience, right? And so one of our consigners consigns with us because we go pick it up at her house instead of them having to drive to the consignment store and drop it off there, and they don't take some of the things. And that's not even to mention the people who don't know about luxury consignment and just give their stuff away to Value Village when it's perfectly consignable, like designer and luxury goods that Value Village will mark up to hundreds of dollars, which you could be doing too. So when you're advertised that you do consignment, you're pulling people away from where they already are doing consignment because you're the better deal. But you're also just educating people like, hey, these clothes are worth money, by the way. Don't just give them away, consign them with me. So this point is accomplished through educating the people in the public, one, that their luxury clothes, yes, even used luxury clothes, are worth good money, and two, that you exist as an option to sell it for them and give them some of the profits. And if you just send them half the money, it's less work for them. And again, I'll make a whole new video on this topic of consignment and how exactly we go about doing it and things like that, how we get clients, etc., all the details. But here I will say that to get consignment clients, word of mouth has been the number one way that our business has gotten them so far. We haven't actually put out any ads about consignment yet, and we have a few. So they're all friends of friends or acquaintances of acquaintances, connections made with 1 or 2 degrees of separation away from us that simply had other people that we know tell them about us and tell them about what we do. So starting with the first client is hard, but then it becomes easier the more clients you get, right? Because then they can refer you to other people and your business becomes more known for accepting consignment. And so you just get your name out there via yourself, via ads, via whichever way you do. I also want to warn you about consignment, though, that it is absolutely not worth it to accept a consignment client if they only have low-end brands to sell with you. You wouldn't pick up American Eagle jeans for more than, I don't know, maybe $5 max at the thrift store, right? So why would you split the profits of the, like, say $25 you get 50-50 with them? That's kind of like picking it up for $12. So it isn't worth your time with all the listing, photographing, shipping, all of that for only half of a $20 profit. I'm not saying to be picky with what your clients give you. What I'm saying is to be picky before that step. Be picky with the clients themselves. For example, our first consignment client, she just gives us a lot of amazing stuff, but she also, one of her main stores she shops at is Guess. So she gives us a lot of Guess stuff, and alone, that stuff wouldn't be kind of worth it if that was all that it was, but for her, that's the absolute lowest tier brand she gives us. The rest is mainly sometimes newer tags, Lululemon, designer jewelry, Pandora, like amazing things we've gotten from her. So we've been able to sell those things for anywhere between $50 and the max was $650 for one item. So obviously taking the Guess clothing with all of her other clothes and goods is so more than worth it for us to consign that. But if Guess is, say, the highest tier brand they're giving you, you're going to have a problem with profit and it's not going to be worth your time. Okay, so the last thing I want to go over with you guys in this video are some other ideas other than the main two, other than the main two methods for cutting off the thrift store at the source. Some of these are part of our business model, some we've never tried, some I just thought up on the spot. All of them are totally reasonable and we're gonna try some of them. So number one would be to tell friends and family and just everyone you know, everyone you meet, to bring all their used clothing to you. This does actually happen to us a lot, even though we have never asked for it. We've never put out anything asking for it, but just our friends and family are freaking amazing, and I bet yours are too. So they just bring us clothes, and you might have to put yourself out there and ask your friends and family for clothes, or you might not. But just, hey, do you have any stuff that you're decluttering? If you do, could you please let me know? I can either buy it off of you in bulk, or I always offer to buy off people in bulk, and they, like, a lot of our friends and family have said, no, we just take it off our hands, we want to support your business, etc. Don't expect that from anyone, because we don't, and you shouldn't, but that happens to us a lot, and we are super grateful, and we have just the best friends and family, and even strangers will sometimes, like, yeah, if you tell them, you never know who would like to jump on this opportunity to either, like, sell you their used clothes in bulk or to just get it off their hands and support your business. So yeah. The next place you could get clothes for free is clothing donation bins. Okay, now be careful here. If it's not going to a good cause, if it's not going to a shelter or a not-for-profit, I am not suggesting that you steal things from charities. But some buildings, some places have clothing bins in, say, their garbage room or recycling room, or maybe in the parkade. Just places where you can put used clothing that they will then take to the thrift, and because those are so convenient, people put stuff in there all the time. And a lot of apartment buildings have these bins, so if you're in an apartment, look to see if yours does. And they could be little gold mines if they're in an upscale area or something like that. An extension further of this, it would be dumpster diving. And I know this sounds really off-putting to a lot of people, but I have read that people have made a business out of dumpster diving behind certain stores like Ulta, where you can get a lot of new in-box makeup that they had to throw out for whatever reason. Obviously, if you're doing this, make certain that the packaging is sealed if you're doing that, especially if it's cosmetics. But you could see how that could be profitable. I had a friend of mine tell me that they saw a bunch of bags that were put out on someone's lawn to be picked up by garbage that ended up being full of designer clothing. So, like, that was amazing, and it was all perfectly good and perfectly clean, right? In our own building's garbage, I found a perfectly good pair of rain boots that we cleaned up and then sold for $20. And I'm really sorry if whoever bought those is currently watching this and is very upset by the fact that that's where I got them. But truly, they were in, like, really good condition. They were perfectly fine. There was nothing wrong with them, and they were at the very top of a recycling bin. I was not going to just leave them there, you know? Like, that's not recycling, that's not garbage. It's perfectly good rain boots. Sometimes you can find really good stuff even just in the garbage, and I know that that might be somewhat off-putting to a lot of people, but that doesn't mean there's not money in it. Another place that you could check out is sometimes people host clothing swaps. Could be like a friend hosted thing. Sometimes there's groups on Facebook that do this in like your local area or whatever. Whenever people have them, you could attend one. And if you, for example, did the $10 bag thing and then you have a bunch of clothes that you deemed you didn't want to resell, you could bring those with you and use that for the swap, and maybe swap and find some better gems that have better resale value for you. This one would be very effective, but maybe a little harder to find those clothing swap opportunities, and I don't know like if they have certain rules or whatever. I've never done this, but I think it would be a reasonable shot. Okay, and this last one would be super effective, and we've never actually tried it. But full disclosure, we are planning on it, and I know it might seem intimidating to a lot of us, but it has to be said. So just go around asking for clothing from people. Just be honest with people. Say, I am a small business. I'm a clothing reseller. I accept used clothing, shoes, handbags, accessories. And if you have any of that you were thinking of getting rid of, if so, please, contact me here. Here's my information. I can come pick it up from you, be really convenient for them. And I can then, you're either supporting a small business or I could buy it from you off bulk. If it's luxury goods, I could consign it. Just tell them about your policies. Tell them who you are and that you accept clothes. This is very in-your-face marketing. It's very putting yourself out there. And I know that, what I'm suggesting is you either approach people wherever they are, hand out some business cards, door to door, putting business cards maybe on people's car windshields or whatever. As long as it's legal, any door to door, in your face guerrilla marketing, just letting people know that you exist. This is, yes, it's intimidating though. It's accepting a lot of rejection. A lot of you won't want to do this one. That is totally fine, and I understand that. But I will say that I will be going into this. We're currently in the process of getting our business cards, and we were going to go do something kind of like this in the nicer areas around where we live. And you never know, you might find luxury consignment clients, you might find donations, you might get your door slammed in your face, but really, what does that cost you? And I just think that I know it's intimidating, and I know that some of these ideas are scary or seem to require a lot of extroversion or maybe even seem rude. A lot of people don't like to ask for help from others, and a lot of us feel awkward approaching strangers, approaching people with something like that, and it's all very understandable, and I'm kind of the same way. I hate asking for help, but I can guarantee you that if more people discover who you are and what your business does, then some of them would be willing to either give you clothing or consign it with you if it's luxury clothing, or buy the bulk $10 bag option. Make sure they understand what clothes would be acceptable for which. Don't get taken for a ride doing this, and don't let someone say something like, all these clothes are new at tags, so please, I need you to give me $40 per bag. No, I've had that before, and the new at tags clothes are all from Walmart. You are not obligated to pay for or even accept free anything from anyone that you've found this way. If it's not good for your business, don't do it. They can decline your offer, and please remember that you can decline theirs as well. So don't let someone sweep you up in this. You asked them for a favor and you felt obligated now to accept whatever they've given you. No, that's not good business decisions. So be picky with the deals that you are making with people. But the point is, there are tons of very kind people out there, all with lots of great clothing, that will want to support a small local business, that do have clothes that are perfectly good, and say, if Value Village or Goodwill is where they usually take their clothes, you are a huge step up from that, in my opinion. The reason that people in my area, I believe, donate to Value Village is not because they think, oh, this is a great cause that I'm supporting, or they really want to support Value Village. No, it is because they know that it accepts everything and it's very convenient for them. And literally donating almost anywhere else. There's hundreds of better options in my area. There's shelters, there's not-for-profits, there's like hospice-run thrift stores a lot in this area. But they take it to Value Village because that's the one they know about, and that's the one that's most convenient for them, and that's the one that's always accepting donations. So it's kind of like why everyone shops Amazon, even when we feel a little bit weird doing it, supporting Jeff Bezos' takeover of the world. But it's so convenient, right? So to cut off the thrift store at the source, my biggest tip is to be the most convenient option for people and to make sure people know that you exist, because those are the two things you need. So, and you can also add in there, like, your clothing hopefully won't be ending up in a landfill because I'm going to sell it to someone else, and it will hopefully live a whole nother, like, contribute to the circular fashion movement and hopefully reduce the terrible impact of the fast fashion movement. There's all sorts of bonuses. Explain to them what the bonuses are of giving to you, of consigning with you, and of supporting your business. And that is, I believe, all I have on this topic for the day. Let me know in the comments what your favorite method for cutting off the thrift store was down below. Let me know if you try any of these and how they work out for you and your business. And let me know if you have any other ideas, because I am always looking for ways to embarrass myself by asking other people to give me clothes, because you'd be surprised, people are really willing to help. So don't be afraid to ask for it. Yeah, just push yourself past your comfort zone. You guys can do it. I know you can. So thank you so much for watching. I will see you in the next video, and